everybody? Soapbox Bill here. We're in the parking lot of the movie theater. This is my good friend Adam. We just saw Logan. I know a lot of you are anxiously waiting for my review of Horizon Zero Dawn. That's coming. I've been really busy these past couple of days, this past week. A lot of work. I had jury duty. It was not fun, but we're here now.
When is jury duty ever fun?
Well, it has the word duty in it, so...
Oh, there is that.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we just saw Logan, the new movie. This is actually Adam's second time seeing it. So, Adam, is it one of those movies where it's one and done, where you just see it once, or can you go back and see it again? I guess that's something we should start out with. I'm going to sit.
I would dare say, as a professional moviegoer, and yes, there is a career for that.
I know.
And you don't need a doctorate for it, mind you. I would dare say that Logan is one of those films that you can see at least 2 to 3 times and not be bored with it. Like I said, the first time I saw it, I was glued to my seat. I could not, even if I wanted to get up to take a piss, I couldn't get up.
I had to take a piss. I have a tiny bladder, so I had to take a quick 2-minute piss break.
Yeah, but fortunately,
I am not ashamed to admit that.
Fortunately, you didn't miss much.
Yeah.
But yes, overall, it was a fantastic film, and seeing it a second time, it stood up just as well as the first. And like I said, it kept my attention going the whole time. So it's definitely not a one and done kind of thing. I would dare say you could probably get maybe 4 views out of it tops before it's like, okay, I need to see something different.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Logan is the first film in the X-Men franchise to get that M rating. Not M, R. I got confused with video games there for a second. That R rating, and it is...
You know, they're about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get carded for each. But, they really went for that R rating. I mean, this wasn't just an R rating because they dropped a couple of F-bombs. This was multiple decapitations. And even Patrick Stewart got in on the cussing. Patrick Stewart dropping F-bombs. I never thought I'd see it in my life, but that was worth it just to hear Captain Picard say the word fuck.
I mean, like you said, Royal Shakespearean actor Patrick Stewart. You would think that this man is prim and proper, but it sounds like he's dropped a few F-bombs in his day. And
I don't doubt that. At all.
Yeah. And looking at it like this, you brought up the first X-Men movie to get that R rating. And even though it is a standalone Wolverine movie that just happens to have Professor Xavier in it, it still counts as an X-Men movie. And like I said, I do want to throw out a special shout out for Deadpool and Mr. Ryan Reynolds, the now God Beast among us, for making that happen.
Make sure you get to the theater before the movie actually starts, because right before the movie starts, there's a little surprise. And it is... I wouldn't say it's because Superman did the joke first. I don't want to spoil it, but it's a joke that's been done before. But it is funny. Yeah, it is a good joke.
Yeah, for this little setup, and honestly, without giving anything away, no spoilers. The first time I'd seen it, I thought this was the beginning of the movie, and little did I know that it was actually. I believe we actually talked about this on the way out. We're thinking this might have been what the post-credit scene for this movie should have been, which, FYI, spoiler alert, there is no end-credit scene. But
the internet already spoiled that. That's been around Facebook for a long time.
Yeah, so, but you gotta figure.
You figure with a Marvel movie, you gotta figure that. Now, let's talk about X-23. X-23. Laura Kinney, who was a personal favorite of mine. Believe it or not, this portrayal of X-23, of Laura Kinney, is actually watered down from her original origin story. I know you're not as familiar with it as I am. I've read her origin story, Innocence Lost. It is, if you can find it, buy it. If you can get it on like the Marvel online database subscription thing, read it. It is dark. This movie only touched on it, and it is an R movie, no doubt about that. And it is a hard R, but they touched on some of the key aspects of Laura's character, but there is so much more that made her who she is that you see now, when she actually in the comics is now the new Wolverine. So,
and you do say that her origin story is watered down. And like I said, you said earlier they were going for a hard R rating, and with Wolverine, it's like when you get the green light to do an R-rated Wolverine movie, it's pretty much decapitation,
dismemberment,
bloodshed, gore,
bloodshed through the head.
Yeah, everything you've ever wanted from Wolverine for the past 17 years has been given to you. But like I said, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think Fox, 20th Century Fox, I don't think they were willing to take the chance of going with the darker origin story of X-23 on top of the gruesome bloodshed and violence that comes from Wolverine himself.
Yeah, I mean, years of her getting beaten and abused. I'm surprised they didn't put Kimura in, though. That's something that surprised me. In the comics, Kimura is X-23's handler. She has dense skin, similar to Colossus, that, that Laura can't cut through, that even Wolverine can't cut through, and that's what made her Laura's handler, that surprised me that they left her out, because she is a central character. And what really disappointed me was Sarah Kinney not being in here, Laura's mother. She was an essential part of Laura's character in the comics, and she's just forgotten, which...
Well, I mean...
Granted, that is part of the darker origin, because...
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, at the risk, I don't want to spoil this for anybody, but going in, there are a good deal of questions left unanswered for the events that set this story into motion, and I'm hoping that they do answer it with the next X-Men movie, which... I don't know if it comes out next year or the year after next.
Something like that.
The one thing I will talk about, though, and we tried to talk about it in the theater, was the quote unquote evil mastermind behind the let's just go ahead and say it, big bad guy number one for this film. Yeah. Is a dude named Dr. Xander Rice. Which, I don't know why they went with that name, but then again, I don't know. I do.
That's the thing, I do. Xander Rice was the head researcher at the facility that was the behind the creation of X-23, of the rebooted Weapon X program. That's why he's there. Yeah. And spoiler from the comics, he's actually the one that forces Sarah Kinney, Laura's mother, to actually carry her. Laura wasn't born was grown initially in a tube, but then implanted into Sarah, and they used her genes in order to fill in a few gaps from the sample from Wolverine that they had. So,
It sounds like a little bit of Jurassic Park mixed with Alien.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just a wee bit.
Pretty much. I was going to say Island of Dr. Moreau, but that just shows how much of a geek I am.
Yeah. Which, like I said, it is an excellent film. It's a little dated, but you should check it out. Now,
classic sci-fi films everyone should watch.
Yeah. Now, to the next point. I'm sure I can go ahead and say this now, because I'm sure many of you have seen X-Men Apocalypse. I just recently watched it the other last week, getting ready for this because I had no idea what to expect other than Old Man Logan. Yeah. Now, to those of you who stayed behind, or at the very least watched on your Blu-ray to the end of the credits, you'll see an end credit scene which was supposed to set up the next big bad guy, a member of the Essex Corporation, aka Jonathan Mr. Sinister Essex. And so when I hear...
Which surprised me that he wasn't in this.
Yeah,
which that's what we thought, because from that movie, this was the next X-Men movie to come out. Yeah. But...
Because this movie, like I said, without giving too much away, really they kind of set it up where they take away from natural-born mutants to pretty much what Deadpool is, a mutate, a human that...
Forced mutation, grown in a lab...
Yeah, and any X-Men fan worth their salt knows that one of the more famous bad guys who experimented with mutates was Mr. Sinister. Now, I'm thinking with this, they're probably setting him up for Deadpool 2 or, like I said, for the next X-Men movie. But
I honestly doubt they'd put Mr. Sinister, one of the biggest X-Men villains after, Magneto and Apocalypse, with Deadpool. If it was a crossover, yes, but...
Well, they kind of already did it with the Deadpool video game, so they kind of got like a test out of that to see how well they would gel. Yeah. And for the most part, if you're going for pure comedy, Mr. Sinister versus Deadpool in the video game, it'll definitely get some chuckles out of you at the very least.
Incredibly flamboyant villain with a cape versus the merc with a mouth. That would be something to see.
Honestly, but, I could see that on a late night talk show or a video log.
I'm flashing back now to Space Ghost Coast to Coast and
Space Ghost versus Zorak.
Pretty much, yeah. But let's get back on target with Logan. Back on track. Target.
Okay.
Stay on target.
All right. Now, a lot of people that enjoy these movies, and with the X-Men franchise, there's always a good amount of just human interaction, getting the meat and potatoes of the story, but the other half of it is the action. And with Wolverine, with X-Men Origins Wolverine, I know it's that evil we do not speak of.
Yeah, I didn't even bother to watch that one. I heard it was so bad. I skipped it. I haven't even seen First Class either.
Well, First Class is definitely one you should check out. Yeah, but X-Men Origins Wolverine, if you haven't seen it,
don't bother.
Yeah, don't.
Just don't.
If you've watched Deadpool, you can,
that's better.
Yeah, you get a brief little cameo as to why X-Men Origins Wolverine was a terrible, terrible movie.
Yeah.
But the Wolverine that came out in 2013, it gave us more action. Wolverine getting to do more of his thing. But once again, they're not willing to take that leap of faith with the R rating. So there's no bloodshed. There's no real decapitations.
Yeah.
And everything's just kind of pushed to the wayside. With this one, they really got to go balls to the wall.
You see all of it. I have to say something about the fight scenes. The choreography in this, grade A. Even for, I don't even know her name, the actress who plays Laura, is just all the flips. There's probably wires involved, but there was some really good acrobatic fighting and just the yelling of Hugh Jackman doing...
Yeah, the trademark Wolverine yell, definitely present, and even when you hear it in a distance, you know it's one of those moments like,
oh shit!
It's like, oh,
I need new pants.
Yeah, when you hear that roar, it's like, boss, I quit, and you just gotta get out of this way because there is the mutant Juggernaut. Well, this is one Juggernaut you don't want to get in the way of, because this is a Juggernaut that will not only run into you, he will slice you in the process.
Juggernaut, you might get squished. Logan will rip off a few pieces of you.
And like I said, going back to the choreography and the wire work for X-23, like I said, I kind of see what they were going for with it, wanting to do, try to make her somewhat like Wolverine himself that we've seen over the years, X2 jumping from the staircase to kill a few guards, trying to do that, but at the same time, since she is female and is much more nimble, it's kind of like, yeah, we took some of the things you loved about Wolverine, and I can't believe I'm saying this on camera, put it into an 11-year-old girl, and please forgive me, that was not meant to sound sexual in any way. And basically you get what a female Wolverine would be like.
Basically, think Wolverine's powers, but Spider-Man's agility. Then
Spiderine.
Wolverette is actually what Spider-Man calls her on several occasions. And when I looked up her Wikipedia page on the Marvel Wiki, she actually was at one time called Spider-Woman. I don't know if that's a one-shot or something in one of those what-ifs, well, but I know they had teamed up a couple of times. But
you remember how Deadpool was also referred to as Ninja Spider-Man?
Yeah, that is
basically
is
Spider-Man he's got his webbing in just about everything these days.
Yeah, I remember he's dated how many members of the X-Men in the different universes, member of the Future Foundation, member of 4 different groups of Avengers, the Secret Warriors, the Defenders. This guy has his hands in everything. But let's get back to Logan. We keep on getting off track, just geeking out.
Yeah, I mean this is what the people want to see. 2 nerds geeking out. But getting back, like you said, getting back to Logan. There's, like I said, there's without giving away anything.
It's cold out. I shivered. It's cold out.
Yeah. Besides that, I mean, we're also shivering with excitement from just how great this movie is.
Yeah.
But like I said, without giving away too much, for those of you who don't know, it was Hugh Jackman's final performance as Wolverine for this franchise. So right now, for a lot of us X-Men fans and just nerd fans in general, ones who love this kind of stuff, it's very much up in the air right now where they're going to go with this from now on, because we all know you can't kill Wolverine. I mean,
it's been done. He does tend to come back, though.
Yeah, he's like
though that's true for most of the X-Men. How many times have they died? It gets to the point where they just kind of don't even bother updating the graves anymore.
Yeah, and like I said, and even then, there's always, like Spider-Man, for example, and I'm not trying to drift too much further, but we had Amazing Spider-Man, we had Spectacular Spider-Man, we had Ultimate Spider-Man. Like I said, there's so many different incarnations of Spider-Man. There's also so many incarnations of the X-Men that it's damn near impossible to write Wolverine off the pages indefinitely. We know he's going to come back.
Hugh Jackman had an amazing run as Wolverine, and honestly, I don't want to speculate about who could be his replacement. I know you have a couple of ideas, but the only thing I've seen that I actually really like about this is, for the next Wolverine, is that Hugh Jackman says he's going to have to approve who the next Wolverine is, which, for passing on the torch, I think that should be a requirement.
And you're, like I said, that
when you don't have a situation like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was a big stinky pile of crap.
And the thing about Amazing Spider-Man 2, if we knew what it was going in, because
we knew what was going to happen. Gwen's going to die. We knew that was going to happen. Get it done in the beginning, and then you have us hooked, and then we're like, whoa, what's going to happen next? But no, they made the climax the thing we were all expecting, and
yeah, I mean,
let's get back on target.
Take a moment, take a breath.
We'll do a different video on that.
Yeah, believe me,
we'll do a Spider-Man video some other time.
Believe me, he's got a can of worms. He's got an extra large can of worms about this
to pick.
Yeah, but like I said, and Disney, I know you're watching. I know you're like the new Galactic Empire, Disney.
I just hope they don't content ID me, because
Well, like I said,
it's us on camera, so
yeah. It's not like we're planning anything big, but we do. Like I said, there's the last little bit of Spider-Man, and then we'll finish up here. Spider-Man: Homecoming coming out in a couple of months, and
looking forward to that. Liz
yeah,
Allen, yes.
like I said, watching the trailer, I don't know if you've seen it yet or not.
I've seen bits of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's hard to avoid.
Well, yeah, because it's for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, Disney has acquired the rights to Spider-Man, and now Spider-Man is now an official part of the MCU, working its way towards Avengers: Infinity War, scheduled to come out in 2018.
If they don't push it back, because they've got so many other things. Captain Marvel,
Doctor Strange, Black Panther,
Ragnarok, which is coming out, I think, later this year.
Yeah, I believe it comes out in November. So a lot of stuff to look forward to in the comic book universe. And this is just Marvel. I mean, DC, we've got Wonder Woman and the Justice League, which, from what I hear, is trying to compete with Thor Ragnarok. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Justice League.
Bad move.
You can't compete with Thor and Planet Hulk in the same movie.
Let's get back to Logan, though. We keep on taking these little tangents, but let's get back to Logan.
I mean, it's hard to do that.
Let's talk about the other big bad from this movie.
Okay.
X-24.
Okay.
And I use massive air quotes on that because
for those of you who, okay, without giving too much away, I kind of feel like X-24, big quotations here, I kind of felt like it was a massive cop-out, kind of like what they did in X-Men Origins Wolverine, where you knew something big and bad was coming, and the payoff was horrendous.
At least they didn't bring in Lady Deathstrike again. That was just... In X2, that was bad.
Yeah, well, I mean,
if they read... But they already did her, so...
Yeah. I mean, like I said, with Wolverine...
Again, why didn't they bring in Kimura? Kimura would have been perfect for that. She can't be cut by Wolverine.
Well, on top of that, I mean, there are so many other villains from Wolverine's past that he's done battle with over the years. I mean, he's battled Sabretooth. You know, I lost count how many times. You know,
dumped him in the North Pole a couple of times.
Yeah. He's fought Magneto. And,
bad move for a guy with metal bones.
Yeah, but somehow he manages to always pull it off. And the one I was hoping for the most, which I knew they wouldn't because, you know, affected timelines and everything, I wanted to see Wolverine in the fight with Apocalypse. But that's a whole other can of worms to open at another time.
For that, I think the cameo we got of Wolverine in X-Men Apocalypse was a decent cameo.
It was taken straight out of the Weapon X comics. Like, I saw it, I was like, oh my god, they actually did it right.
All right, then. Now, let's put a big spoiler warning right here, because right now we're going to talk about the meat of the movie. So, spoiler warnings. Basically, our basic thing is go see the movie. It's good. Go see it.
If you want, like I said, we're going to talk about what, like I guess you say the intermediate points between action scenes, where we get the character development. We're going to be talking about that, but it is going to require some spoilers. So if you don't want to hear it, if you haven't seen the movie yet, either press mute or just turn it off. Go see the movie, and then come back and turn it on and hear what we have to say.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so spoiler right now.
I mean, the setup with Old Man Logan, the only other mutants that we see outside of the runaway kids from the quote-unquote Weapon X program, which isn't even Weapon X, it's called some other thing, and it's done in Mexico.
Weapon MacGuffin number 2.
Yeah. In the comics, it was called The Facility.
That sounds like a disease kind of thing right there, but
Like something out of one of the Resident Evil games.
Something
like
out of Andromeda Strain or
something Capcom would come up with as a name for a villainous organization.
Hey, Capcom, I hope you're listening. I think this man just made you like $7.5 billion off that idea.
Capcom doesn't listen. They've been remaking the same thing over and over. But let's not talk about Resident Evil.
Yeah.
The first one was good. And 4.
Yes.
So
basically, this is mutates that are engineered in a lab, and the only two...
Not really mutates. They're mutants, but they're like genetically engineered from samples.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, we can hash out that later, but basically there's only, by my count, 3 natural-born mutants in this film, and they are Old Man Logan, Professor Xavier, and this is the guy you might have seen in X-Men Apocalypse. I actually had to Google this while I was watching the movie. A mutant named Caliban.
One of the Murlocs.
Yeah, he was in X-Men Apocalypse, working with Psylocke to kind of
locate mutants that are being abused and get them out. Kind of like the Underground Railroad.
Yeah. And
he dies, though. He dies in a badass way. I mean, 2
2
grenades. Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
I'm dying, but I'm taking you assholes with me.
Yeah, it was, and even then,
it was a big middle finger to the guy who had been torturing him. So,
which, let's talk about that guy for just a second. I'll be honest, when I saw the trailers for this movie, I didn't know who the actor was who played him. I knew he looked familiar. I kept thinking it was Tom Felton. And for those of you who don't know who he is...
Like me, I don't pay attention to actors' names very often.
He was the young man who portrayed Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter films. Except the hair is not as bleached blonde as it used to be. Like, he actually went out... Like, he actually went out for a tan, and his hair tanned with him.
Spoilers, for you, mostly, because I know you haven't reached this part of the series. He's also in The Flash. You'll see that in the later seasons.
Yeah.
He makes an appearance after the whole Flashpoint thing, but let's get back to
So
Marvel.
so with this one right here, there is a huge air of mystery going on. Like, what happened to the X-Men?
We don't know.
Yeah, you're guessing.
End of the movie. We don't know. We have a vague sense that that Charles had like a seizure. He has some sort of brain condition, and when he has a seizure, it basically freezes time all around him, or people's perception of time, and they're paralyzed.
It's definitely something that they never really addressed. I mean, I'm sure they addressed it in the comic books, but in any of the films, they never addressed this. And I'm actually kind of surprised it took them this long to do it. What happens when the world's most powerful mind starts to suffer from a brain disease like Alzheimer's or ALS?
Or MS, or any other kind of condition that does that.
This movie answered that question.
Bad shit happens.
Yeah. So,
of course, similar things have happened when Jean Grey, when the Phoenix gets out of control, which...
Yeah, Famke Janssen goes ballistic and explodes people.
Yeah, the Westchester Mansion has been destroyed a number of times because of the Phoenix.
Oddly enough, in Apocalypse, it was destroyed by Havoc's mist shot. It's like, you have the Phoenix in there, and she doesn't destroy the mansion, so it's kind of,
Yeah, that was the 1 time out of 10.
Yeah, you can't put this on me.
I didn't do it. Yeah. I did not do it.
But, and another thing that, like I said, spoiler alert, Wolverine is dying. For a guy that can heal instantly, something is killing him. And I just, like I said, this is, I'm quoting from a friend of ours who has seen the movie, and we had talked about this a couple of days prior before we saw this tonight. And they kind of give you a small, very vague explanation as to why Wolverine is dying. Now, the way it sounded to me was that it was adamantium poisoning.
Yeah, kind of similar to the whole palladium poisoning thing that was happening to Tony Stark in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, it's kind of like what's keeping him alive is also killing him.
Yeah.
I don't know quite how that happens, but, I'm not a scientist. But another explanation comes from my good friend Joe Hoover, who believed that it was this weird subplot that they put in, that they just kind of hit here and here, that it was a bizarre form of corn syrup, an additive to different food groups. Because bear in mind, the year this movie takes place in is 2029.
That actually makes sense to me, because the villain guy, whose name I now forget because I don't really care.
Uncle Ben's Rice.
Rice.
His name was Rice.
Rice.
Yeah. We'll just call him Uncle Ben.
No, let's not call him Uncle Ben. Just call him Rice.
Yeah,
we know he's Rice now.
Yeah,
Rice
Rice
said that they've put in gene therapies that would keep people from being born as mutants. Perhaps
the offshoot of that was that the corn syrup additive that they put in is a poison.
Fucking up his healing factor, as it were. It's suppressing his own natural abilities.
And, which, like I said, I don't want to take away too much from this, but I do find it amusing that the worst Wolverine movie is the only one where they didn't have a MacGuffin of some sort to keep Wolverine from healing.
Yeah.
In the Wolverine, his healing abilities are nullified by Viper through a French kiss with some kind of tentacle probe. That sounds like a bad hentai movie, but we'll get to that.
It is. It's called Bible Black, and we will not speak of it any further.
Ugh. We just had to bring Bible... You know what? Let's not talk about that.
Hey, it's the internet. Bible Black is a measuring stick, just like Fooly Cooly.
Yeah. So you got that, and then in this one, it's like he's already suffering. Like, from the time he appears on screen, 20 seconds into the film, you could tell he's dying.
He is not at 100%. Not at 100% at all.
And yet that doesn't stop him from tearing through a few carjackers they're trying to steal his hubcaps.
They're trying to steal the rims off of his car. I actually have another theory about why Wolverine's not healing, and this is going to show off a bit of the geeky science nerd in me. In the Wolverine, we saw Wolverine in... God, I hate having to say that. Like, in the Wolverine, we saw Wolverine. Of course we did. But in that movie, we saw him in Hiroshima when the bomb went off. He took the full force of a nuclear bomb.
Came out looking like beef jerky for all of 15 seconds, but...
Yes, but there is a consequence of that. Because not all the nuclear materials, when a bomb goes off, are used in the explosion. A lot of it goes into the air. That's radioactive fallout. I know some of you that follow me love the Fallout franchise, so
Speaking of nuclear fallout.
Speaking of... God damn it, Adam, you farted. I'll get you back in a little bit. But,
hey, at least I pointed the fallout in that direction.
That is true. But a lot of those heavy metals, uranium, plutonium, they don't go away. And if you ingest them, if you inhale them, or if your skin is regrowing, there it is. If your skin is regrowing as it's hitting you, it can end up getting absorbed into your body and then into your bones, into your muscles, and just start irradiating surrounding tissue, giving you cancer up the butt. So perhaps
it could very well be
Logan's healing factor has been taxed for so long, keeping this cancer at bay and keeping all this stuff from basically blood poisoning from cancer in his bones that you can't get out because his bones are coated in adamantium.
And you do bring up a good point with that, and maybe just a little bit of an insight is that you said it best. His bones are coated in adamantium, and we've seen that adamantium is pretty fucking indestructible.
More or less, yes. You need either heated up adamantium, a special knife, or vibranium, which...
Yeah. And I doubt Captain America's going to lend you his shield to kill Wolverine. Sorry, Cap's got principles, but...
Black Panther might do it. Doubtful, but
that would actually be a fight I'd like to see. But the adamantium right there, we've seen that it's pretty fucking indestructible, and that when applied properly is a very dangerous weapon. But what we don't see are the elemental properties of this metal. Now, you talk about the bombs in Hiroshima, and in the Wolverine in Nagasaki, he shielded a Japanese military man with the cover, with basically like a manhole cover, and took the full extent of the nuclear bombs dropped on Nagasaki. So,
it was outside of Hiroshima. It doesn't matter really.
Yeah,
the place doesn't matter, but the bombs that were dropped at the end of World War II.
Now, I'm subscribed to a weapons making YouTube channel called Man at Arms, and every 2 weeks they have a video there where they're making a weapon from different metals. So I've gotten to see how metals react to fire. Now, bear in mind, in this case, it's radioactive fire.
Over like 10,000 degrees, enough to melt tungsten, which is the most durable known metal known to man, and at incredible pressure. So heat plus pressure equals bad day.
Yeah. So you think about this. Wolverine's skeleton is exposed because, quite frankly, a bomb of that magnitude won't just char the skin. It will blow the skin right off, no matter how quickly he heals.
It would turn him to dust.
Yeah.
His healing factor does accelerate when, huge, massive trauma. That's how he was able to survive the Phoenix in X3, which I still think was kind of dumb, but...
A lot of great ideas, poor execution.
It's a GT.
Hashtag Attack of the Clones. But...
Yeah. We will not speak of the prequels.
Oh no, trust me, we got a review for that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Probably
We're getting a lot of another times in this video, but
well, this is your first.
How much time we got left?
This is your first video log with a fellow nerd.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of
ideas. Nerd off.
Yes. So, but back on point for just a second. Now, I've seen many weapons forged from just blocks of metal, whether it's 1040, carbon steel. Most recently I saw an axe made from wrought iron and Damascus steel. When the metal reaches a certain temperature, it starts to glow a very bright, almost like a lava color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns molten.
Yeah. That means that it's ready to bend to your will. And by that I mean hammer the shit out of it until it takes shape. So, Wolverine getting that nuclear bomb, his skeleton, while not warped, while not destroyed, could have reached the molten point that those radioactive particles you spoke of could have bonded to his skeleton and slowly, over time,
irradiated the adamantium, basically making the adamantium itself radioactive. And a man with radioactive bones would probably get cancer up the butt.
Yeah, but like I said, with Wolverine's healing factor, it probably kept it at bay. It could be a combination of the two.
Yeah, he drank the corn syrup.
He drank the corn syrup. He drank the corn syrup. His adamantium started poisoning him because it was radiated by the bombs of Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Like I said, many different things.
Possible.
Did not give us an
answer. No
closure.
None explanations.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. That's the extent. That is really the extent.
It could have been in a couple of the iterations. Apocalypse and the mutants are of alien origin, which does not make them like the Inhumans, who are also of alien origin. It's totally different, and I said so.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about X-24.
Yes. Now that we're in the spoiler zone, we can go ahead and talk about this. It's basically young Wolverine. It is a young fucking clone of Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and say it. I'll be the first to say it. It looked good. It looked like Wolverine had a day at the spa and was revitalized.
Well, they've de-aged actors before. They did it with Carrie Fisher, God bless her soul. They've done it with. They've recreated dead people in movies.
Yes. Check out Rogue One. You'll know what we're talking about. And if you don't, you're not a Star Wars fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
this point right here is like, I mean, Hugh Jackman. Yes, he is older. He's 17 years older than he was when the first X-Men came out. But
of course, he's in better shape. When X1 came out, he was kind of pudgy.
Yeah. Now he is totally ripped.
Totally jacked.
Like, this is the guy I want to walk with on the beach because I know he will bring the ladies to us. All he has to do is take off the tank top and boom, ladies appear. But again, getting back on subject, X-24, a clone. And when I say a clone, I mean it's exactly like Logan, right down to
Ben Reilly to Peter Parker. Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
Except this one's had all of his memories, like no memories, no nothing. He's basically just pure Wolverine anger.
He's testosterone and a sexy body with adamantium claws. That's the best way I could describe it.
Bad attitude.
Yeah, I mean, he took a shotgun blast to the friggin' eye socket, and all it did was put him to sleep. He woke up, healing MacGuffin, woo, eyes back. Yeah. It's like he's pretty much a walking, talking advertisement for walking it off.
You'll be fine. Walk it off.
Yeah, which. Yeah, like I said,
I'm going to have fun editing this.
Yeah, well, like I said, one of the problems with this was that they didn't even say it was a clone. They just called it X-24. It was a young version, right down to the smallest detail, of Wolverine himself.
He was played by Hugh Jackman, so it was Hugh Jackman versus Hugh Jackman, which is actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's two Hugh Jackmans fighting over. It's like, okay, who's gonna end this franchise? Who's gonna be the last Wolverine standing?
The answer is Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. He's basically getting double paid in this movie for two roles. But and I'm going to consult for you because, again, my good buddy Joe Hoover. We were talking about this the other day. We talked about the fact that X-24 could have easily been Wolverine's son from what the hell is that woman's name from the Wolverine? Mariko
or Kikyo.
Yeah,
the Japanese woman that he meets in Japan.
Yeah, one of the you know, I mean, dude's been around for 100 years.
Yeah, he in the comics he has had a number of children,
And yet Mystique's considered the whore for sleeping with, I think, Magneto, Azazel, even some blind Oracle chick. And yet Wolverine has done...
And Wolverine.
Yeah.
They've also blinked.
Yeah. And, like I said,
and Daredevil. Did she sleep with Daredevil? I think so.
Yeah, it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised.
She's kind of a whore.
Yeah, and yet Wolverine, who has slept with countless women over the centuries he's been alive, is like, no, he's Hugh Jackman. He gets a pass.
The only members of his family that he actually has a relationship with are his son Draken. I think that's his name. Yeah. Draken, who is the son of him and Yoriko or Mariko.
I think it was Mariko Yashida. And,
Mariko Yashida, that's where it is.
So,
and Laura, who in the comics he actually takes in basically right off the streets. She shows up on his doorstep and sees it. She looks like hell, and he's just like, okay, come in, bathroom's over there.
Yeah. So apparently Wolverine's not always an asshole.
Oh yeah, in the comics he's actually like he takes on Rogue as a kind of surrogate daughter, Jubilee, and Kitty Pryde.
Yeah,
we're all kind of surrogate family members.
Yeah, and, I mean, like I said, I know the man's not always an asshole, but if you read the whole source material and see the films and watch the cartoon, yeah, the guy's kind of an asshole, but at least he's got a good heart.
He's an asshole, but if you matter to him, he will rip an army apart to protect you. You are in the comics, he gets to the point where he's not the headmaster of the school, but
like
he's basically the chief of security. He's like, my job is to protect these kids, and I do it damn well because I am the very best there is at what I do.
And what he does isn't very nice.
Yeah.
We got to keep the quote alive there. But
definitely.
but going back to Draken for just a second. This is something Joe and I were talking about the other day, that X-24 could have easily been Draken if they bothered to explain it. I mean, young looking, a splitting image of Wolverine himself.
Don't think that would have worked in this continuality because of, all the mutants being just being basically vaccinated.
Yeah, but
then
like I
then
said,
wanting to grow a mutant,
well, like I
grow
said,
a weapon.
Yeah, well, like I said, since this is the spoiler review right here, you kind of see how Wolverine is. Like I said, he's dying, but he's dying so much slower than the others, probably because of his healing factor. So you would imagine that his offspring, who would probably inherit the same ability that he has, would probably be able to withstand.
They do. They do.
Yeah. So
it took Kitty to kill Draken in one iteration, and that's because she was able to reach inside of his chest, phasing through it, and take his heart and literally phase his heart out of his body and crush it. Kind of hard to regenerate from that.
Yeah, but but
he tried, and then she did the same to his brain, I think. I'm not sure. I haven't read. I kind of feel like she should be added to the next Mortal Kombat DLC, and that should be her fatality right there. Kitty Pryde does not fuck around. She also has a dragon. So
basically,
yay, Lockheed.
Yeah. So
she's got an angry purple dragon she can sick on people.
So, but like I said, going back to Draken for just a second. Okay, so
I almost made you say dragon.
Yes, you did. So Wolverine's offspring should be able to basically be somewhat immune to the toxic corn syrup that's going around, poisoning actual mutants and nullifying the birth of new mutants.
Yeah.
Now, in the comic books, look, stop me if I'm wrong. In the comic books, he hates his father. He fucking hates Wolverine.
Oh, yes. In fact, one of Wolverine's last requests of Kitty Pryde when he dies in the Ultimate series is to go and find his son, who she then kills.
Yeah, not the best way to have a family reunion, but that being said, now, we saw in Origins, I know we said we won't speak of that, but it's kind of crucial to this, Sabretooth, Wolverine's half-brother.
Which I think is dumb.
Yeah, but it would definitely explain why they both have the healing factor, but again,
Wolverine has healing factor in spades, yes, but most mutants and most superheroes have a degree of healing factor. Hell, Spider-Man has a degree of healing factor.
The factor I'm talking about is how they're similar, but they're different. Like Wolverine and Sabretooth, they're both trackers, have a keen sense of smell. The regenerative properties, the only real difference between the two of them is that Sabretooth, he doesn't have adamantium claws. Depending which iteration you have, he's got extendable claw nails that come out of his fingertips, which I gotta say, the original X-Men, he looked pretty awesome, but at the same time, not so much. And I didn't realize that until I saw Origins with Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth. Dude's rocking a trench coat. He's rocking all black in a trench coat. He doesn't have wild, untamed hair and a very good set of mutton chops. And you know what? I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Now,
it could be the fact that they're both Canadian, actually, because Deadpool's also Canadian. So maybe it's something in Canada.
We should go to Canada and find out.
They do have excellent healthcare. It might have something to do with their excellent healthcare.
The secret's out. Canadian healthcare is the secret. So, but getting back to it for a second, Sabretooth's whole drive in Origins is to kind of punish his brother for abandoning him with what was to be the Weapon X program. unfortunately, that's not what we got. We got some bastardized version of it, but again, that's a story for another time.
Stop talking about origins. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
I know, but it serves a purpose, even if it's just to remind us how badly movies can go. He wants to get the same adamantium bonding procedure that Wolverine got. Unfortunately, he didn't get it because Wolverine showed up, fucked shit up, and
Yeah,
left.
it's kind of hard to do a second procedure when all the people who did the first procedure are dead.
In pieces.
In pieces.
Yeah, so...
Over there, over there, over there,
Yeah.
over there.
So, getting back to Draken...
Sensu Bean won't fix that.
Yeah, you would probably need the Dragon Ball for that one. And even then, Dragon Ball plus a good plastic surgeon. But, getting back to Draken for just a second, you would imagine that if that trait is present, he's got the healing factor that his old man has, that he would be willing to undergo the same adamantium bonding procedure that his old man did, if nothing else than just to find, torture, and eventually, hopefully,
Kill
murder his father.
Logan.
Yeah. So that, like I said, it was right there, but they didn't give us an explanation behind it. It's just kind of, boom, here he is. It's like young-looking Logan is now X-24.
This is a clone. This is a pure clone of Wolverine, as opposed to X-23, who is, like, in the comics, it's 96% of Logan's DNA. But
Kind of makes you wonder why they didn't go for 100%, but...
I said before, they only had a fragmented portion of it, and they filled in the gaps with Sarah Kinney's DNA and then implanted the fetus in her. Yeah, again, I said it at the start, Innocence Lost, very dark. They touched a little bit on it with Laura's habit of cutting herself. They showed some of that. But,
yeah, but even then, that was just really to show, like, she's testing her abilities. Like, okay, yeah, why is it healing?
It's healing, and she's cutting herself. And in the comics, actually, when they did the adamantium binding process, they did not put her to sleep. They did it while she was fully conscious and just strapped down to a table.
Yep. Dick move, guys. Real dick move.
And they put her into a simulation thing, fighting against a computer-controlled bear that Wolverine would fight when he was undergoing the Weapon X program, and she had to match his movements to that exactly in order to get the right, in order to be to spec.
Yeah, again, real dick move, guys.
Yeah.
You're gonna create something that's 96% Wolverine, and you're gonna be more brutal. You're just asking to get murdered, aren't you?
Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder who comes up with this stuff. Like, is there just a group of? Are there just like a group of assholes just sitting at a round table, just like, okay, we did this.
Hey guys, remember when we made that incredibly dangerous thing and it blew up in our faces? Let's do that again.
And like I said, I mean,
I don't know these. It might be that they were written by Capcom.
Could be. I mean,
horrible.
But I mean, like I said, if you're still watching to this point and you haven't seen the movie and you just like said, fuck it, we're gonna listen to the spoilers, you still should check out the movie.
Yeah, it is a fun movie.
Yeah, and like I said, we wouldn't be good critics if we didn't point out the plot holes. But like I said, we were hoping.
Why no Kimura? Why?
Hopefully that'll be answered by whoever Hugh Jackman's going to pick to be his replacement. Like, hey.
Better yet, if X-23 gets her own movie. Fuck, that would be awesome.
Although I would like.
I mean, it's X-23 and the New Mutants.
Yeah, and that's something that's something they can do down the road.
X-Men Rebirth.
Yeah, but first
do it.
Yeah, but first they need to show us exactly what brought them to that point, because otherwise, it's gonna be the prequel trilogy all over again. It's like, how did he become Darth Vader? He was a whiny little douche. It's like, oh yeah, thank you.
He doesn't like sand.
Apparently because it's in his vagina. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, George Lucas. Did I hurt your feelings? You mad, bro?
Those movies, especially the third one, and I know this is a tangent, great physical acting. Whoever was the voice director should have been kicked in the balls because those deliveries were horrible, and I know those actors are better, but okay, back to Logan.
Yeah. So
I think X-23, if they do give her a movie of her own, it should be the new Wolverine or all new Wolverine or something. Her taking up the mantle of Wolverine as a way to honor Logan, who she calls father at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
In the comics, it took years, and this is one of my favorite parts, and a bit of an intervention from Peter fucking Parker in order to get her on that path.
Well, I mean, there is one thing I did want to point out, and I'm sure it's been all over social media. 17 years Hugh Jackman has played Wolverine. Not once did he wear the suit. Hell, the Wolverine, the extended cut, they
show it in a case.
They actually present him with the suit as a parting gift. Like, here is what you should wear as the Wolverine. 3-4 movies later, he still hasn't worn it.
Yeah.
It's like, Mariko, if you are listening right now, stay away from him. If you got him a high-tech suit as a parting gift and he still hasn't worn it, it's best to look elsewhere.
Yeah. That was a bit of a shame, but that suit was kind of gaudy, and honestly, the whole just jeans and a tank top look works well for Logan. It honestly does.
But I mean, like I said, the scenes where they're like wearing the X-Men suits, and I know I keep talking about Apocalypse, but one of the very last scenes in the film itself is Mystique and Beast training what will become the first generation of X-Men, barring First Class, because, spoiler alert, they're all dead.
Yeah, so that isn't really much of a derailment, as we've said before in the X-Men universe. They have a habit of coming back, or coming back from alternate timelines, as it is in the comics right now, which is weird because young Jean Grey, just ousted Bobby Drake Iceman as being gay by both his past self that came back from the past and his current self in the comics.
And yet in the films, he is torn between Kitty Pryde and Rogue.
And the comics. Ultimate Series. He used to date Kitty Pryde before she broke up with him and got with Peter Parker. And then he started boinking Rogue when her powers went on the fritz.
And yet Gambit can't get him some. How messed up is that?
Gambit was dead. But Gambit was dead.
Oh, I'm sure.
Rogue was touching him at the time, and she absorbed all of his powers and basically took on his powers.
Yeah, but you know, the Raging Cajun. I'm sure if there was even the slightest opportunity to get himself some of that Southern Belle, he'd find a way to rise from the dead.
It's called liquid latex, and that's probably how they did do it. But let's
let's get far away from this subject here. But my point is that in the last scene of Apocalypse, they're training the new first generation of X-Men, which of course includes Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Quicksilver, and Storm. Now, they're not 100% spot on with the outfits, but you can definitely tell that these were influenced by the comic books as well as the 90s animated show.
You don't get Storm with like the whole...
No, you get more like a...
cape, wrist thing.
Yeah, you get something like it, but it's more aesthetically pleasing to the eye than that. I can't... And the fact that she can turn her regular clothes into that at will is just a mystery of the universe I don't think will ever get solved.
Yeah.
So yeah, while it may
That's like Wonder Woman spinning around and suddenly she's in her outfit.
Yeah, I think Superman's got an explanation for it. He moves faster than a speeding bullet. How he does that in the phone booth is, you know what? It's not a phone booth. It is the United States version of a TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside. See, I can see the gears turning. You all are thinking about it right now. Go ahead, accept it.
Where is Canton Everett Delaware the Third when you need him? We are dorks.
And we're okay with that.
Space, 1969. But,
I thought it was the final frontier. Yes, I made a bad Star Trek pun.
God damn you.
Oh, I'm sure he'll.
I still really think that X-23 Laura, and I should get find out who the young actress is who played her, because she did a damn good job.
No, I do. I did have
to.
to.
She should get her own movie.
I kind of feel like, though, they should kind of hold off till she's a little bit older.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like I said, she is definitely something to take seriously. But at the same time, when you got a very young actress, and I'm going to use another actress as an example. I think it's Chloe Grace Moretz. You might remember her from Kick-Ass as Hit Girl. Okay, she was about the same age that this girl was playing X-23. And in the last few years, you kind of got to see her grow up a little bit. I mean, yes, she is still under 18, but you definitely can't tell it. And if you're hearing giggles in the background, there's just a couple of exuberant youths leaving the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens. We probably should have started filming this, back in the back of the parking lot, not
That's all right.
The exit.
That's all right. If what we need for this review, authenticity. Yes. But, as I was saying, so this girl, like I said, she's about the same age. And I kind of get the feeling like we're going to get to see her grow the same way we saw Moretz grow. And once she's reached a more suitable age where you could consider her a threat, is when they should give her the opportunity to play X-23 again. Yeah,
don't want to typecast her too much, because that happened with the girl who played Claire, the cheerleader in Hero. She ended up getting typecast as the all-American, blonde, ditzy cheerleader.
Yeah, and if one thing, I'm sure Mark Hamill will agree with this. Nothing sucks worse than being typecasted.
Of course, Mark Hamill was also the Joker for voice acting, and honestly, better than Heath Ledger.
Well, maybe.
Come at me, bro, if you don't agree, but...
Well, it's like I said, Heath Ledger, he delivered us a different version of the Joker, but the voice, the essence of the Joker will always belong to Mark Hamill.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, Facebook even pointed it out. When you've got Arkham in your name, you know you were meant to play the Joker. And if you don't know what I'm talking about,
oh, God, I have never realized that before.
Yes. Google it.
How did I not know this?
Yes. If you're listening, Google it. Look at the name Mark Hamill and tell me you won't find Arkham in it. I will bet you all an ice-cold beer that you will...
Adam, no internet bets. That's not how we do things.
Gotta have something to get him motivated. Google it. You will find it.
Yeah.
Thank you, internet.
I'm probably just going to put it right about here, I think, and then squish it together and do some editing.
Yeah, because we must show the internet verse that Arkham, that he was always meant to play the Joker. When you have Arkham in your name, you were meant to play the Joker. But again, we're getting way off subject here. So, okay, so we're right now at the hour mark.
Something like that. Yeah, an hour. Yeah, hour and 3 minutes.
Yeah, so we've been nerding out about this for a little over an hour. Now, I'll go ahead and say my final thoughts on this one. And like I said, this is now back to spoiler-free. So if you're still listening, well, keep listening.
Yeah.
So, my final thoughts is, like I've said it a couple of times, go see the movie. It is definitely worth checking out in theaters. And the first time you see it, you're going to be glued to your seats. You're not going to want to get up, not even to take a piss. If you have to, bring a piss bag.
Catheters help.
Probably not the most comfortable way of doing it. I would recommend Gatorade bottles.
Yeah.
Then you can leave them behind for some poor schmuck to clean up.
Please don't.
Okay.
I've had to do that before.
Okay,
That's a different story.
Okay,
Please
here.
clean up your piss.
Let me explain this.
You don't know how
no,
that is. I do. Don't.
No.
No,
Let
that's
me just
disgusting.
explain this. I say this because I do need to deliver this because this was the first time ever that I went into a theater and it was a mess. Like we went into the theater and
it wasn't clean. It was
like
not
I got to
like
my
it should.
seat and I found a rolled up thing of aluminum foil that probably had a hot dog in it.
Probably.
I'm hoping it was a hot dog. As well
Might
as
not have been.
yeah, as well as empty condiment packages,
empty drink
yeah,
cup
and
thing and popcorn everywhere.
Yeah,
it was.
something.
This is a nice theater too, and I was.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I would never, ever, ever tell somebody to leave a Gatorade bottle full of piss on the counter, on the floor, or anything like that. But if you're gonna do it, if this is the
take
kind
it with you and put it in the trash yourself. I've watched poor innocent freshmen open up a bottle of what they thought was lemon lime Gatorade or lemonade.
Yeah, do not do the lemon snow cone joke, dude. It's not cool, man.
Yeah, just don't. Just
Yeah.
don't. Public service announcement.
I mean,
just
seriously. I just want to say these guys that work at these theaters, they make shit for dick on a paycheck. You know, the least you guys can do.
Don't make it any harder for them.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the movie.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
give my final thoughts, and then I'll talk a little bit more. Go see it. It's a good movie. It's very violent. So if you're under the age of 17 or 18, bring your parents.
Actually, don't bring your parents because then they'll never take you to another one again.
Yeah.
Find an older sibling.
Hard R rating.
If you have an older sibling, or if you know somebody that's got an older sibling, get them to take you. If you take your parents, they will never take you to see this again.
Yeah.
I shit you not.
It is, but it is a good movie.
Yeah.
It's got. Excuse me.
It's so good it made him burp.
It's got really good acting, really good action sequences. Though they kind of meandered her origin a little bit. X-23 was a delight in that very dark and broken sort of way. And go see it. All right, then. And I'd like to thank you, Adam, for joining me in this.
Thank you for having me.
What I hope will be the first of many late night post-theater parking lot reviews, nerd off things, whatever we decide to title this. I'll think about that when I get home. And to everybody who's watching, my review of Horizon Zero Dawn is coming up. New anime season is coming up soon, so once I know what's actually coming out where, I'm going to talk about what's coming up and what I'm looking forward to. And that's going to include Code Geass, which has a sequel in the works, which I'm going to talk about then, and the movies that are being released in the lineup to that are basically a recap of the first two seasons. Also going to talk about the new shows on Crunchyroll that have come out this past season, most notably Konosuba and Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I did not expect that one to be as funny as it was, but it's got me hooked.
Yeah, well, sometimes the funniest ones are the ones you least suspect.
Yeah, really interesting premise on that. We'll talk about more later. And it should be busy coming up. And I'll be trying to post a lot more, trying to get into my Let's Plays again. But I thank you all for joining me. Thank you for staying around while I've stand on my soapbox and talked, though technically I'm just standing on pavement, and the camera is in the back of my truck. But again, thank you, Adam, for showing up and helping me with this. It's been a treat, guys. So see y'all next time.